You have a twinkle in your eye. You have optimism. You have a smile. You look like you know who you look like?
What?
Barbra Streisand.
Ah, who's
When
that?
she was a young, yeah. If you look really closely at you, you look like Barbra Streisand when she was around 13 years old. You know who Barbra Streisand is?
She's a fabulous vocalist.
It's okay that you don't know who it is right now, but what's your talent? What do you love to do?
Sing.
You love to sing. What kind of songs do you love to sing?
I don't any.
Anything?
I don't know.
Is there a song that comes to mind that you like to sing, right, briefly? A freedom song, perhaps, right?
Yeah, right.
How have you celebrated your last birthday?
I think I had a sleepover
Sleepover. Away from mom or with mom? Away from mom?
away from home.
Yeah.
We haven't had any holidays in the past 4 years. No holidays, not even a phone call on either birthday, her birthday or my birthday. No Christmas, no New Year's. The third foster mother was the cruelest. She was in four foster homes. The third one was Jewish, and she ripped my daughter's cross off. She wouldn't allow any gifts, even no matter how small they were. She wouldn't even allow my daughter to wear, bought her a down jacket for last year. It was freezing winter. Wouldn't allow her to wear her down jacket because her children didn't have a down jacket.
Let's talk about this. You have experienced, Deandra, being in with 4 other mothers. What's that life? What's that life every day about for you? Knowing that she's with people that you don't even know about.
It was horrifying with the third one because she was so abusive. She was abusing my daughter constantly. My daughter.
Physically?
No, not physically.
Mentally?
Mentally, torturing her, and
What
also.
was she saying?
She kept saying, "Your mother's mental. You can't go home to her because she's crazy."
Your mother's not mental at all.
I know.
She's mentally brilliant. And she's mentally in love with you.
That's for sure.
You both love each other. Anyone could see that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So I mean, you both were like prisoners.
Like prisoners, the reason
wrote
I
this book.
portray, there are prison bars over her face. Because it is a prison. Do you know that a murderer has far more rights than a child in foster care? Child in foster care has supervised visits, and you're not allowed to talk. I wasn't allowed to tell my daughter that I had a television program. I wasn't allowed to tell my daughter I wrote a book about her. She would have her letters screened, before she gave them to me. They criticized her letters. She wrote a letter to her attorney, and they lambasted the letter, stating that she had no right to give this letter to her attorney. But unfortunately, I was able to get it on court record, so.
Do you need a pardon? What do you need?
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you need?
I think that these criminals who are running children's services should stop what they're doing, stop stealing children that were never abused by their parents, and stop turning children who were abused over to the abuser.
That's right.
Because they're trying to take my daughter and hand her over to her father. Her father not only seriously abused her 4 years ago, but he abused her in many different ways, which we don't want to get into the details of the abuse. But he also killed her dog. This man is sick. He kicked her little Yorkshire Terrier down the stairs and broke her neck because he was angry the dog wouldn't come to him.
Is that true, Deandra?
Yeah.
You see it? You saw the dead dog? What was your feelings when you saw the dead dog?
Real sad. Because she was my own dog,
And what was the dog's name?
Gwendolyn.
And how long did you have Gwendolyn?
I think about a few years. I'm not sure.
And how old were you? 8, 6,
Like
7?
4, 3, 5, something like that.
Yeah.
She was exactly 6.
You still have your show?
Yes, I do.
Here?
Even though I'm on the Lamb, I put in all the programs in advance
Great,
because
yeah.
I knew I would, and I have other people that will continue to
Well,
run.
there's another producer here, and his name is Ozzy, and he's got a show following ours, and he was very kind enough to allow us to use his studio time so that we could get the story out. If you have the time, not only do I want to thank Ozzy, but I want to also say maybe Ozzy could interview you, and maybe he could ask you questions, because he knows what they are. He's got more experience. I'm listening with my heart and my ear and whatever God wants me to hear for you, because that's really what I want. But maybe he can has more in-depth so that we can get this tape to the right people. I mean, if I could think of anything that has touched me so far in my life, this is it. Besides my own running away from things. But you need to be together.
Yeah.
She needs you to continue her studies. She needs you to know she needs to be safe. We need to have you take any kind of mental tests to prove that there's a wrong.
I've done that.
All right, you've done it?
I was, Children's Services sent me to Cabrini Hospital.
Yeah.
And to the mental
Yeah.
facilities.
Yeah.
And they all said, but they wrote in dynamic reports, and
Right.
they said there's nothing. That's
Yeah,
what
I can see that.
the article. It's a sin what the New York Post did.
She also needs to be interviewed by professionals.
She was.
You have that? You have those
Yes,
records?
yes.
All right. Your husband needs to take a lie detector test.
Yeah, I know.
Well, he has to be.
It'll go off the charts.
Well, no, but he has to be. You know.
He's a psychopathic liar.
Well, okay.
Which is normal for a cop.
Well, also, here you are on the.
A contribution would be a good attorney.
Yeah, okay, that would be great. Well, if there's are there any lawyers out there who really want to take this case on?
Come.
Why don't you make an appeal? Talk to someone right here in that camera and say what you want, Deandra.
I want a good lawyer. I want to stay with my mom forever.
Right.
And I don't want to go with my dad.
Right. And you don't want to go back into the system. And Deandra, what do you think? Talk in the camera.
I'm also pleading for help. I went to the New York Post for help, and they wrote the story on such a slant. They left out all the information to show how the district attorney's office, namely Stephanie L. Hubblebank, took my ex-husband who abused my daughter. The abuse was called in by doctors at Bellevue Hospital. She gave him an alias on the state central register. His name is Gerard Joseph Murray. She changed his name to Jerry Moore so he would not be recognized on the state central register. So in other words, as a pedophile, it states that he sexually abused my daughter on the state central register. It gives his real birth date, his real phone number, and his real address. But they changed his name. So if he were to work in a daycare center and where they always have to check the state central register, his name won't show up. Now, I brought this to the attention of the court, Judge Gloria Sosa Lintner and Judge Susan Larrabee. These judges are so corrupt, they know that a false name was placed in the state central register, and they refuse to correct it. So they're